There's something truly special about the freedom of driving. Being able to hop in the car, turn the key, and go wherever you please. It's independence. It's convenience. It's choice. But if you're over 70, maybe you've noticed that driving doesn't feel quite the same as it used to. Maybe your reflexes aren't as quick, or your eyesight isn't as sharp. Maybe you've even had a moment where you thought, should I still be doing this? Well, I'm here to tell you, yes, you absolutely can. Driving after 70 doesn't have to be scary. In fact, with the right approach, it can still be safe, enjoyable, and even empowering. That's why today, we're going to talk about 9 simple but powerful tips to help you stay confident behind the wheel. Now, I know what some people might say. Oh, once you hit a certain age, it's time to hang up the keys. But that's not necessarily true. Age is just a number, and what really matters is how you adapt to the changes that come with it. So let's start with the first step to keeping your driving skills sharp and your confidence high. Tip number 1. Get regular vision and hearing checkups. This might sound obvious, but it's surprising how many of us put off those routine eye and ear exams. The thing is, our senses change as we get older, sometimes so gradually that we don't even notice. One day you might realize street signs are a little harder to read, or you're not hearing sirens as clearly as you used to. That's why it's so important to stay on top of your vision and hearing. Make it a habit to see your eye doctor at least once a year, and don't hesitate to update your glasses or contacts if your prescription changes. If you've been avoiding hearing aids because you think they'll make you look old, trust me, being able to hear a car honking or an ambulance approaching is far more important than what anyone else thinks. Tip number 2. Choose the right car for your needs. Now, let's talk about your car itself. If you're still driving the same big sedan or SUV you've had for years, ask yourself, is this really the best fit for me now? Smaller cars can be easier to maneuver, especially if you're dealing with stiff joints or slower reflexes. Look for features like a backup camera, blind spot monitoring, or even automatic emergency braking. These aren't just fancy extras anymore. They're real tools that can help keep you safe. And if getting in and out of a low car is tough, consider something with a higher seat position, like a crossover. Comfort matters just as much as safety when it comes to staying confident on the road. Tip number 3. Plan your routes and your time wisely. Here's something I've learned over the years. There's no prize for taking the most stressful route. If heavy traffic or complicated intersections make you nervous, there's no shame in avoiding them. Plan your trips ahead of time. Stick to familiar roads, avoid rush hour if you can, and give yourself plenty of time so you're not rushing. And if you're driving somewhere new, GPS is a wonderful thing, but it's also okay to pull over, take a breath, and double-check your directions. The goal isn't to be the fastest driver on the road, it's to be the safest. Now, these first 3 tips are all about setting yourself up for success before you even turn the key. But there's more to staying confident behind the wheel, and in the next part, we'll dive into how to keep your skills sharp, adjust to changing conditions, and know when it's time to reassess your driving habits. Because here's the truth. Driving isn't just about reacting, it's about being proactive. And that's something we can all do, no matter our age. One of the best things about experience is that it teaches us how to adapt. Think about it. Over the years, you've probably navigated all kinds of roads, weather conditions, and even changes in traffic laws. That wisdom doesn't just disappear after 70. In fact, it's one of your greatest strengths as a driver. The key is to pair that experience with a few smart adjustments to keep yourself and others safe on the road. So, let's pick up where we left off and talk about the next steps to staying confident behind the wheel. Tip number 4. Keep your reflexes sharp with simple exercises. Now, I'm not talking about running laps or lifting weights, though staying active is always a good idea. But when it comes to driving, reflexes matter. The good news? You can keep them sharp with small, everyday habits. For example, try this. Next time you're sitting in a chair, practice lifting your foot and pressing an imaginary brake pedal. Do it slowly at first, then speed up a little. It sounds simple, but it helps maintain that muscle memory so your reactions stay quick when you need them. Another trick? Play a little spot the hazard game when you're a passenger in the car. Notice the car ahead slowing down or a pedestrian waiting to cross. It keeps your brain tuned in to those quick decisions you make while driving. And if you want to take it a step further, consider a refresher driving course. Organizations like AARP offer classes specifically for older drivers, and many of them even qualify you for an insurance discount. It's not about proving you can still drive, it's about giving yourself an extra edge. Tip number 5. Adjust to changing conditions without stress. Let's be honest, driving at night isn't as easy as it used to be. Glare from headlights can be blinding, and those poorly lit streets, they don't help either. But instead of avoiding nighttime driving altogether, try adjusting your habits. First, make sure your windshield is spotless inside and out. A thin film of dust or grime can make glare 10 times worse. If oncoming headlights are the problem, try shifting your gaze slightly to the right, using the white line on the side of the road as a guide. It keeps you on track without staring straight into the brightness. Rainy weather can be just as tricky. If the road looks like a shiny black mirror, slow down and leave extra space between you and the car ahead. And if the weather gets really bad, there's no shame in pulling over and waiting it out. The most confident drivers know their limits. Tip number 6. Know when to take a break, and that's okay. Here's something we don't talk about enough. Sometimes the smartest driving decision is not driving. Maybe you've had a long day and your energy is fading, or maybe you're on a medication that makes you drowsy. That's not a weakness. It's just being honest with yourself. If you're feeling off, listen to that feeling. Take a nap before heading out, or ask a friend or family member to take the wheel. Rideshares and delivery services are also great options for those days when driving just doesn't feel right. And if you ever catch yourself thinking, I probably shouldn't be driving right now, trust that instinct. The goal isn't to drive every single day. It's to drive safely on the days you do. Now, we've covered a lot so far, from tuning up your senses to adjusting to different road conditions. But there is one more essential piece to this puzzle, and in the next part, we'll talk about how to have honest conversations with loved ones, recognize the signs that it might be time to cut back, and most importantly, how to do it all without losing your independence. Because at the end of the day, driving isn't just about getting from point A to point B, it's about staying in control of your life on your terms. You know, one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves as we get older is the ability to be honest about what we're still great at, what might need a little extra care, and when it's time to make adjustments. Driving is no different. It's not about giving up freedom, it's about protecting it by making smart choices. So let's wrap this up with the final tips that will help you keep driving confidently, or, if the time comes, transition smoothly to other options without feeling like you've lost your independence. Tip number 7. Have the conversation before it's a crisis. Nobody likes to think about the day they might need to stop driving. But here's the thing. Having an open, honest talk with family or friends before it becomes an issue can make all the difference. Instead of waiting for a loved one to nervously say, "Maybe you shouldn't drive anymore," bring it up yourself. You could say something like, "I want to keep driving as long as I safely can, so let's check in every so often. If you ever notice anything concerning, promise you'll tell me." That way, it's not a confrontation, it's teamwork, and if a family member does express concern, try not to get defensive. Listen. Maybe they've noticed something you haven't, like drifting across lanes or missing stop signs. That doesn't automatically mean handing over the keys. It might just mean adjusting when or where you drive, or getting a professional evaluation to put everyone's mind at ease. Tip number 8. Recognize the signs without panic. Our bodies and minds change. It's natural. But some changes can affect driving in ways we don't always notice ourselves. Here are a few gentle red flags to be aware of. Getting lost on familiar routes, other drivers honking at you more often, feeling overwhelmed by traffic or road signs that didn't used to bother you, near misses or minor scrapes that keep happening. If you spot these signs, don't panic, but do take action. Maybe it's time to limit driving to daylight hours, avoid highways, or schedule a checkup with your doctor to rule out any underlying issues like cataracts or medication side effects. Tip number 9, explore alternatives before you need them. Here's the best way to never feel trapped by the idea of giving up driving. Have a backup plan before you need one. Try out ride shares like Uber or Lyft with a friend first so you're comfortable with the app. See if your community has senior shuttle services. Many towns offer free or low-cost options. Grocery delivery, meal kits, and pharmacy home deliveries can also cut down on the number of trips you need to make. That way, if you ever do decide to drive less, you'll already know how to get around without feeling stranded. A final thought. Independence isn't just about driving. I want to leave you with this. Your independence isn't defined by whether you drive yourself everywhere. It's about making choices that keep you safe, happy, and in control of your life. Some people drive well into their 90s with no issues. Others decide at 75 that they'd rather relax in the passenger seat. Neither is right or wrong. It's about what works for you. So keep these tips in mind. Stay proactive, and most importantly, trust yourself. You've got decades of experience behind you, literally. With a little awareness and adjustment, you can keep enjoying the open road on your own terms. Now I'd love to hear from you. What's your best tip for staying confident behind the wheel? Or if you've made the transition to driving less, what made it easier? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if this video helped you, hit that like button and subscribe for more honest conversations about thriving at any age. Here's to many more safe, happy miles ahead, whether you're in the driver's seat or enjoying the view from the passenger side. After all, life's a journey, not a race. Let's make it a good one.